Good morning, traders. Final week before Christmas here. Kicking off here. Yesterday was first day of winter, so the days are going to start getting longer from here. Some things I'm looking at here in the markets. Okay. So bottom line is, guys, I got two ES charts on here. I've got the on the left here. These are the adjusted contracts, and then on the right, I've got the current ES contracts. Okay, non-adjusted. Okay. And what I am really seeing here, guys, is a very good chance that we're going to be back at all-time highs on the current ES contracts in today's session. So be very mindful of that. Uh, you know, uh, All-time highs are higher. So I am targeting the 69.3160. Well, 69.3225. You know, very possibly we could be even tagging that today because, based on my trends, we have room to be possibly doing that in today's session. So there are a lot of days that I'm looking for the reversion lower. Bottom line is scenario one would be a continuation out of the gate, just drift higher in today's session. Uh, that would be my scenario one for what I'm seeing on the markets. Uh, so let's see what happens here. We may need a back test and then continue higher, but from what I'm seeing right now, it's blue skies for the most part for the move higher here. Uh, this breakdown has not completed. This breakdown trigger right here uh, on the adjusted contracts. So that's another one there that suggests they may need to come up here and back to finish this pattern to the upside. Uh, we're not even into that resistance area right here, here. We're not into those resistance areas yet. So be mindful of that as well. Okay. Just a few things I'm looking at here this morning. Uh, Okay, we are into a resistance, in my opinion, on the NQs, but these resistances aren't not nearly as relevant if they're middle of the trading ranges in the middle. Okay, so basically, if you run into that resistance right here inside of our trading levels resistance, that's much more relevant. But in my opinion, since we're up here above our well, this actually could be green right now. I could actually change that color. A lot of times I don't change the color until the cash session to see if it actually becomes solid support. Okay. But now this is acting as support in the morning session. So we may need to come down, back test this, see if it actually becomes solid support. Definitely possibility. But I wouldn't hold a lot of credence to that resistance. Like same thing here. This is the adjusted contracts. This is the non-adjusted. See how much closer we are to the non-adjusted contracts, our current contract, to being back at the all-time highs into that resistance area. I would think this is a very real possibility in today's trading session to be at these all-time highs on the current contracts, and that would put us at 25,870 potential. And we do have the room based on our trends, 25,870, right into these prior areas. And that would put us in that situation. That would put us up in this area right up here. Okay, right at the top of this. So that would probably would most likely match up with this uh, uh, completing this cycle to this high, the high of my orange on this one, and that would put us to all-time highs on the NQs for that scenario. We'll see how it plays out here. That would be my primary scenario one. Scenario two would be, fill the morning gap and then bounce from there. That would be my scenario two. Possibly come down, fill the morning gap, and same thing with ESs. Possibly fill the morning gap and then resume the rally to the upside. Both of my scenarios suggest we're going to resume the rally to the upside, barring some sort of major news event. Because we do know that the Supreme Court is going to make a judgment about the tariffs at some point. Now, if that news were to come out unfavorably, it's hard to say how that would impact things. Uh, we have a rally in the commodity space this morning with everything going on with Venezuela and stuff. And so what this is a current pattern we got going on here on the Russell. And the two charts pretty much look the same or very very similar here on the Russell. Uh, Between adjusted and non-adjusted. Yeah, these are non-adjusted here. You see how the this shoulder is a lot higher versus the adjusted. So our current contracts were actually in a breakout where the adjusted contracts are not in a breakout. See how we're currently trading above this level right here. Uh, so that is a little bit different. Something to definitely be mindful of. Okay. Um, but we do have a bid in some of the big one of our biggest laggers, crude oil, and so we have to be mindful of that going forward in this morning's session. I do think we might have crude into resistance. So this is a breakdown level right here on crude oil. Uh, we're currently trying to poke above this level right here. They may make that new support for a continuation, but right here, right now, this looks like resistance that could, uh, remember the Russell's really good about filling its morning gaps. So in that scenario, just remember, guys, uh, the Russell may need to repair the morning gap. So we have to be mindful of that. So we are up on the Readies at 12 points this morning, and that's really not much at all, but we have to be mindful of that going forward here. 12 points down. That'll put us at the bottom of this. You see that rejection right there? That would put us back down into the bottom of that. And that would still actually save support. So you do have another level right there that they may want to come down to, make that new support in the cash session. We have done it in the pre-market already, but they may want to come down and make that new support in the cash session. So be mindful of that. And I would still be looking to buy the dip if that were to happen. That scenario two would happen. Okay. Some things I got going on here. I have Nvidia into resistance, opening this morning into a resistance area. So be very mindful of that. We still have this all-time high breakdown right here. What you can do here is put a regression line on that little move right there down to the low. Where do I want to put this? Into that low, yeah. So we had a responsive low right there. Okay, that would put a line right there. And I need to change these colors too. Give me a second here. I'll get this drawn out. Okay, guys. So I forgot to turn that off. I'm sorry. Off. Okay, guys. What we got going on here? This sell off right here. That is our next major uh, trading zone to think about. This was the big rejection zone here on NVIDIA. If you put a regression line on that from the highs to that low into that new trading zone, uh, so this would be the resistance into that. So we could actually push up into that in today's trading session. So be very mindful. You don't want to jump in short. You don't want to be shorting that too early here. But bottom line is, we start entering into that, then we'll start heading up, likely heading up to all-time highs here on the NVIDIA. So we have this overhead resistance. This is overhead supply, still our overhead supply, and we've found a lot of responsive selling right at this price point. Okay, so it's still a technical head and shoulders scenario. Okay, where the head, this is an potential exhaustion high, and we're going right at the top of the neckline. And this is the first attempt into the top of the neckline. A lot of times that will fail. So be very mindful of that. I'd much rather to see the neckline fail, then just running straight up into all-time highs, in my opinion. Tesla, Elon got his pay package. I don't understand the logic of why the markets are rallying on it, but this is a bullish structure, so we have to keep that mindful. This is very bullish structure. And I don't understand the logic of him getting why it's rallying off the pay package, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. Um, Oracle, so we're trying to put in a base down here, obviously. It does look like it's trying to move back to the 202 area here on our Oracle uh, to potential head and shoulders maybe setting up here on Oracle. So let's definitely keep that one on watch going forward here. Had a nice little short squeeze on that, and we're still continuing to see that short squeeze in semiconductors this morning. Okay, Broadcom's into resistance, so be very mindful of that. Google this morning, it looks like we're gapping above a completed pattern right there. So now we're into some overheads supply here. Uh, so definitely keep that on watch. Uh, this could very well just roll back over, but definitely want to keep this one on watch. Been acting bad. Netflix got some volume this morning. Uh, Bottom line is below the 97 area, 96.80, yeah, 96.80, 97. This is a bear flag until proven otherwise. And I do think they're paying way too much for Marvel, and that's why it's being punished. So either big money's coming in here and accumulating down here, or they are selling into strength for another leg lower. And I don't know what the case is on that. Amazon this morning, we're still trading below the daily 20 MAs, having a lot of trouble getting through that. So be very mindful of this. This is resistance until proven otherwise. Uh, so be careful on that. Okay. Uh, as far as our JEX levels go, if you go on SPY here, guys, we cleared a major uh, uh, gamma exposure area at the 680 yesterday. So this is very bullish structure. Okay. And as you can see here on my fans, we are potentially into a resistance area. We could be heading into blue skies territory higher, but our main trigger point was up here at 685. We could very well be heading back to that. So I'd much rather look at this to the long side. You see how we back tested that already this morning, and they found support. They're really trying to defend the 681. So 681 and 680 have some major gamma exposure levels, and they're trying to defend them this morning. We get through these right here. I think 690 is our next major one, all the way up here. So they are trying to get us this big push. They're trying to set the stage for the big push here. But you see this big breakdown? We are trading below this breakdown. So this is resistance until otherwise. And I'd be much more favorable to be shorting the, I don't know, 680, 683.70 from the open. I would much rather prefer doing that than trying to push my luck. So be mindful of that. 683.70 area, something like that. Hughes this morning. Blue skies territories, quite likely that we're going to be rallying right out the gate this morning. In my opinion, that's 50% of the moves up here. Uh, I, I just think we'll be moving up here to the 622.50ish area early on this morning. Just everything about the structure looks bullish here, so be very mindful of that. Uh, just I wouldn't be jumping jumping the gun to try to short this market this morning. It does not look like a market you want to short. And I also want to point out here on the VIX guys at these levels, VIX between 14 and 15. You're generally looking for a correction in the markets whenever you get down to these levels. Okay, but this is historically a very low volatile week in the markets historically. So this can get this could be breaking support very easily today. And I would much rather be trading with the trend to the upside than actually trying to fight the trend this week. Uh, so I don't know how this is going to play out, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking here. Okay, I'm going to cut it off right there. And oh, I could put IWM real quick. Can't remember if I recharted it or not. Yeah, you see how we got, you know, it's head and shoulders. We're right in the top of the head and shoulders resistance. Um, and like I showed you, the crude might potentially be in resistance as well. And historically, you do tend to try to fill the gaps on the Russell. So be careful here. You're into resistance. You got a morning gap potential here. But then again, we're in a very low volatile week, potential low volatility week. So be very mindful of that. Okay. So I'm just going to wait. I know a lot of traders are just taking this week off because this week right here, it can really blow up your accounts if you're not careful. Okay.